gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. There we go. Unfortunately, minor change that I made, as you can guess, messed things up, and the title sequence didn't work. So it's like, yeah, bollocks. Anyway, welcome back to Star Trek Adventures Damocles, where we completely mangle the 2D20 system by Modifius, so major apologies to them if they're ever watching. Now,
I regret nothing.
I've changed the outline a little bit, as I said I was going to, but something I've been working on for the last few weeks whilst everything else has been going on. I'm just going to quickly go into Roll20 to show you. Now you can't really see this, but basically it's I've been programming in Roll20 to create a character builder using a mixture of API scripts and a few other let's just say that I've got a few more grey hairs. So now this doesn't seem that important, but for me, and if any of the other guys want to create a character, a new one, or run a game, this is going to speed up creating characters by like a factor of 10. But the best thing is for example, let's just say I'll create a new character. There you go. We'll keep that one there, for example. Now you can see on the screen it's pretty much all blank and stuff like that. Now if I click on the character builder, which is something, again, this is what I've been working on, I'm just going to show off a few bits and pieces. So you still need the books, so this is not something I can release unfortunately to the public. This is more for mine and my group's use, but just to sort of show people the sort of thing that can be done with Roll20, you put your mind to it. Now go to species. Now at the moment I've gone through the core book and added all the basic species and their other bits and pieces, but what I want you to do is to keep an eye on these sections here where it says species and stuff like that. So say for example we want to create a new Andorian because they're awesome. I just go over here onto this list and I click on Andorian. Nothing's working. That's because I forgot a very important step. Because I'm an idiot. Drag it onto there, select it, let's try it again. There we go. So if you click on that, boom, it now says Andorian. Species trait, again Andorian because of the way the game works. Now let's say I want to give them say the proud and honourable trait. Boom, instantly puts it into the character sheet. But think, oh, I forgot. Species stats change. Keep an eye on the attributes. It now sets them to the defaults of 1, 1. And oh look, 7 for fitness, 7 for insight, 7 for reason. And this all adds up as well, and it stacks. So for example, I can now go to, let's go for say environment. And I can do the same thing again. Say our Andorian grew up on another world where presence was quite important. I can click on that. It now changes it to 2, and this repeats all the way from the different steps in the game. So I've been working on for a while, and now I've got it working. I'm actually very happy with that. So if you wondered why I may have been swearing on Twitter recently, this is why. But just to show you the sort of potential stuff that you can do with a mixture of the scripts and stuff like that. It even does the ships as well, but that's proven a little bit more fiddly because of the way ships are. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's begin. Stardate 59166.64. 2nd of March 2382. Curiously enough, today. As per normal, the Damocles is on patrol on the edge of the Dominion space in the Gamma Quadrants. And it's the late afternoon, early evening on the ship. I suppose you could say it's probably around 1800 hours time, give or take a few minutes. And the crew, well, the so-called A-team, as they've been nicknamed on the ship, are currently in their quarters or various other bits and pieces, just chilling, doing their thing. So, what are you lot up to at this moment?
Davrin. Well, do you know what? If Tolek doesn't mind, I think perhaps Davrin and Tolek are engaged in some kind of game of strategy, and Davrin is probably losing.
That's probably fair.
Tolek does not mind in the least.
What game are we talking? The four-dimensional chess thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, give it all the dimensions, as many dimensions as can be.
The one the one's got 5 towers and stuff sticking out.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's it. And okay.
Or that one with the poles from Voyager.
Oh yeah, I know one. It's like a giant kaplunk.
Mm.
I know the one you're talking about. Can't think of the name, but I know what you mean. Tira, what's she up to?
She is in a quarter and taking a part of Phaser.
Caltoad, that's it. Thank you.
Taking a part of Phaser to see if an idea of a transportable transporter
Okay.
could be used similar to a weapon.
Okay.
Like taking someone and then automatically beam to the brick, something like that.
Yes, I know the one you're sort of talking about, like a combination weapon/transporter system. Or
Yeah.
at least a tagging system, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think you could fit a transport system in a weapon, but you could certainly say, if this weapon hits this item, transport this item.
Yeah, with a marking beam.
Yeah, I suppose that. I mean, it's theoretically possible.
Yeah, it's just an idea she had, and she just with that idea she discovered a new hobby and is at the moment just taking apart things to see how they work.
Let's just say, just for a laugh, just to get things started. Let's make. This is probably going to be like an engineer. I'm going to say an engineering and reason roll, just to see if you get this, think it's actually possible, this idea, or whether or not it's just something completely.
I think
nonsense.
my new focus applies then.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Scroll
There we go. Now,
Nah.
you think, although theoretically you think, yeah, this could happen, you've got no idea where to begin. It's, you're looking at this weapon, it's like you're thinking, nah, this is designed to hurt, or, at the very least knock something out. How am I going to transform this into a targeting system?
It's a beginning.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is there, it's a good idea, but you have no idea where to begin. Absolutely none. And it's at this point that all three of you here get a beep on your comm badges and say, bridge to Tira, Davrin and Tolek.
Yes.
Oh, right, they're waiting for us to respond. Right.
Yes. Yes, that would be a good idea, yes.
Acknowledged.
Good, finally somebody actually answered.
Well, it's
Sorry,
Your
Bridge, I was
voice
focused on my move.
and
I
your
don't
voice
want to
didn't
know.
go down. I thought there was still coming something.
Just get your asses to the bridge, please. And you can almost hear
right away.
You can almost hear the vein throbbing in the captain's voice as he says that. It's like, why do I deal with these nimble?
Quick interjection, Chris.
Yes.
I've got Twitch open and I can't see the roles on the video on the stream.
Okay.
It's just a white box.
Right, one moment.
I don't know whether the audience actually cares about seeing the roles, but
Okay, 1 second.
it is what it is.
Oh, I think I know why. I'm just going to put some test rolls into this thing first. I think I know what it is. This is going to be nonsense coming up in thing from that. Don't worry about that. Just want to check that first. Yeah, it's basically because the roll had gone off the top of the screen.
That's right, so we just got to fill it out of it.
Yeah, there you go. It should now be filled out, so that's fine. I forgot because I cleared the chat log. It basically moved everything up out of the log. But it's fine. It's working good. What? I am busy, cat. Right, back to the game. Where's it gone? With minutes. Alright. Well, we just had a catnip.
We must have missed one of those triples.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them. Just
That's the sound coming from the ducks right now.
In like the as you're going along in the Jeffrey tube.
In the Jeffrey tube.
Anyway, as you get up onto the bridge, you're getting closer to it, you do hear a clang, 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 clang in the distance as you're getting closer. And I imagine that it's like, who would you say gets to the bridge first?
I have no particular preference, but I don't mind you being first.
Okay, let's say Tira gets there first. Tira, and as you walk onto the bridge, you do see that there's a bit of work going on by the captain's ready room, and you can see that the captain is standing there with a big grin on his face and his hands behind his back. It's like, Tira, should have guessed you'd be first. Where's the other two gits?
I don't know. They're probably on their way here. I see the work on your new ready room is coming along.
Yes, it's the clang, 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 clang. And this is going on. You see, like, the engineers just going. There's a bit of swearing going on, and every time there's a clang, that you see the captain's eyes twitch slightly. It's like, yes, that's been going on for a few hours. When's it going to be ready? And you hear from there. It's almost ready, sir. Just a few more adjustments to make. And I think at this point, it'd be a good idea for, say, the other two to arrive on the bridge.
You wanted it to be perfectly soundproof, Captain, so things take time.
There you go. Now it's just working, and we'll move it to there. There you go, should now be on the bridge. So I think so that Tira's there, and you've got that bridge on top.
Very nice.
I do like that bridge, it's very nice. That's one of the official Roll20 ones, the Modifius ones. Fucking awesome. The detail on it's amazing. But yeah, step out onto the bridge, and again you can hear the clang, clang, clang as you're working on. This is some loud noises going on. And you hear, right. Sorry to take you free off of your downtime, but honestly, I was going to do this tomorrow morning, but I just wanted to get it done out of the way. It's like, could you all... And again, he's still got his hands behind his back. It's like, right, could you 3 step forward? And you notice there's, on the bridge, there's actually a surprising amount of people. That more than normally should be on the bridge.
I throw some suspicious side glances to Devrin and Torlek, like, what have you done?
And it's not, Tira, it's not your birthday, is it?
No. You see Lieutenant Ricky sitting there.
No.
With a sort of, like, you don't know if he's constipated or if he's trying to, sort of hold in a giggle. He's got, again, the clank, 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 sort of still going on in the background. It's like,
Davrin steps forward, looking
Yes.
slightly sceptical about whatever's about to happen.
it's like,
Are we being volunteered, Captain?
he just gives you a look. It's like, I can find you volunteer duty if you want, Lieutenant. But first of all, and you see he sort of stands, and if he stands up straight, and you notice that he brought out from behind his back a small box. Like, Lieutenant Tolic, please step forward.
Yes,
There's
Captain.
a hush that's just dropped across the entire bridge at this point. He opens up the bridge. Box, and he brings out a small medal. Step forward.
The Todek steps forward.
Like, right. It is my great honour, on behalf of the Starfleet Admiralty and the Starfleet Cartography Association, to present you with, I'm going to get the name right, bear me 1 moment, the, where's it got, the Zephram Cochrane Award for contributions to science, specifically with your discovery and recovery of the Iconian Gateway map. That has just certainly pushed up your ranking in Starfleet, and as such, as well as this medal, I am also pleased to announce that you are now officially head of the Damocles' staff science division.
Stuff division.
Science
Of the
division. It's you are now officially head of science and research under Damocles. And there's
Davrin whoops and applauds loudly.
there's a small sort of smattering of clappings and everything. You can see again, it's Ricky who's sitting behind, where the captain is. You see him just going, this sort of thing.
Behind Tolak, Tira says, that would be an appropriate and logical time to smile.
Yeah. How secretly smug is he looking right now?
I don't know.
Nah, not
do
really.
you want to make a perception roll or deception?
Yeah, I
Which I know is
want
not
to.
thinking Star Trek. I just keep calling it. You know what I'm talking about. Are you trying to sort of hide? Is the how far up is the eyebrow or the smugness?
They are
factor?
both slightly raised.
So we are talking full on smug mode at this point.
Well,
For
full on smug they would be higher.
Okay.
This is more a very self-satisfied
So,
smile.
To be fair, a very logical Vulcan probably saw it coming, right?
It's the Vulcan equivalent of the cat that ate the canary.
gotcha. Okay. So it's like again, it's a cut of the Vulcan crew members who are on the bridge, just standing, and they sort of make eye contact with Tulloch and give a well done sort of nod. Very subtle, but it's like, and yeah.
Yeah, and Tulloch will say, "Thank you, Captain. I hope I will perform adequately in my role."
Well, considering the modifications you and Archie have made to the Damocles over the last few months, it's officially ours. He looks down at his notepad that he's just picked up. It's like, apparently our rating for science has actually gone up according to the official benchmarks. So, well done. I look forward to more tweaking. Lieutenant Tira, if you could step forward, please.
Okay.
It's like everyone's like, yes. Now, I do have an apology to make. This was meant to be awarded to you several months ago. After various instances and saving, and he points to those two idiots. Well, one idiot.
I was going to say, Captain, you've just made one of those idiots head of your science department.
I know. And he just gives you a look as if to say, "Just be quiet, Davin."
Sorry.
Not now.
Not the time.
This is not the appropriate time.
Not in front of the entire crew.
Yes, not in front of the new head of the science department, okay? So he then again reaches into the box. Indicates that step forward. He pins onto you. Another one. So now, I'm not entirely. Unfortunately, the name of this one, I'm going to have to get the proper name. Again, it's like because this is a pronunciation one. This is very difficult for me to pronounce. And you can see that in his yes, I believe that's an accurate pronunciation.
Sorry.
Is it a Klingon medal?
Yes, it's like the Grankite Order of Tactics. It's like, yes, I think that's the pronunciation. He looks over at the one of the Vulcans and he says, yes, Captain, that is the correct pronunciation. Excellent. Basically, yeah, it's. I do apologise. It was something that we meant to give to you ages ago, and apparently it got due to my misfiling of the necessary paperwork. It almost got awarded to another Andorian, and you can see he's visibly sort of. I'm sorry. Look on his face. I put the apostrophe in the wrong place.
Let me guess, it was in transporter room 2.
No, but it did actually go to the wrong. It went to the wrong Andorian, and there was this now very confused Andorian farmer who's wondering why he got the Starfleet medal. But, it's like you seem like go right. Almost like he turns away from Tira as if like I'm embarrassed now.
Through her head, the following thought goes, at least he doesn't say that we all look the same.
He just basically messed up when he was typing the name out. It's like put the apostrophe in the wrong place, and it's like, yes, that's yes. Whoopsie, my bad. Finally, he turns to Davrin. Step forward, please.
Davrin steps smartly forward.
Now, I wish I could say I have a medal for you, But I don't. What I'm about to do, please don't make me regret. And he brings out a small, round, metallic circle. Congratulations, Lieutenant Commander Davrin. He fixes it to your neck on the...
Thank you, sir.
And you see there's a... Woo, yeah, yeah. There's a big cheer going off around the bridge now. Even if you cut the vocals, going, yes, well done. Yes.
Do
So,
I have to call you sir now?
Clang, 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 clang. In the background. The cat goes, one moment. When are you not fucking finished? So, in a moment, sir. Clang. It's ready.
We'll judge it based on the context of the moment, Tira.
Like, fair. And he sees the captain go, brilliant. The day's getting better. It's like, I'm going to test it. Sir, no, I'm going to test it. And he walks into his ready room. It's like, right, first of all, I want to test the acoustic dampening properties of this thing. You see him that walks into his ready room, the door's open, and you see him go, and he presses the door. No sound whatsoever can be heard from inside. The door opens. Yeah. Did anyone hear anything?
It was blessed silence, sir.
Fantastic. One more time. Does it again. One at a time.
I think we can count this as a victory for all of us, sir.
Excellent. So, what is this? What's this? Total
I
privacy
stand
mode.
next to
And
toilet.
he presses a button on the door, and you see a. And a couple of the engineers go, fuck. And
What did just happen?
yeah, we tried to tell him, but total privacy mode isn't fully working yet.
What is total privacy mode?
One of the engineers just goes, puts his head in his hands. The other one, sort of Cation, turns around and goes, well, and if you'll pardon my frankness, sir, ma'am, this idiot took the command of total privacy mode literally.
So that to transport
Explain.
one, can you get a lock on the captain's contact?
As you're saying that, he just like... You I'm sorry, you just run around in the background like... It's like, you can't even hear any, you can't hear any screaming, you can't hear any communications, it's just no, it's... He made it literally, sir. It's, you can't... When total privacy mode is activated, that room's basically cut off from the rest of the ship.
But you didn't break any laws of space and time, did you?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
Oh, great. So we only need to find a queue to get him out.
We can open it, sir, but the problem is it's going to take a few hours to get the door open again.
Get onto it,
Yeah,
please.
I guess that means I'm in charge.
Oh. Yeah. We'll go down to engineering and get the tools, sir. And congratulations. And they both peg it towards the turbo lift.
Well, I'm glad for their vote of confidence.
It's more. They're not. It's not so much the problem with Davrin they have. It's when the door eventually opens.
Yeah,
That
they
is
better
a problem.
practice their running.
Yes, it's more a case of yeah. So yeah.
Right. I need a writing implement.
And
There's a pad on the.
Yeah,
data
I'm
pad.
gonna quickly write a brief explanatory message and put it up to the window.
There's
so
no
we can.
window.
Oh, there's no window at all.
No. Total privacy mode.
Can he see out?
Sorry.
Before the engineers go, can I ask him if he can see out? Like there's cameras or anything?
There's nothing. As far as you're concerned, this room,
This was an ill-conceived mode.
this room, as far as the rest of the ship are concerned, doesn't exist.
Right.
And
to the other two are on the bridge.
a
just
few of them have started going back to back to their regular stations.
Yeah, there's nothing to see here. Go back to your work. We will have a party in the cantina later.
It's like there's a few of them that are, and again, as they walk past Davin, they all give a.
And no
congratulations,
word
sir.
about this. I don't want to hear gossip on the ship.
And yeah, it's eventually it's it's just the standard bridge crew and you three basically on the bridge now. You do hear you do hear a few comments about those engineers are pretty much going to be demoted. As, when the captain does eventually get out of his ready room, which by the way doesn't have a toilet.
But on the subject of the captain in the ready room, I have a thought.
Ooh.
Because I strongly doubt that they have cut the replicator off.
You don't know.
So I'm assuming I know the names of at least one of those engineers.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So a bridge to X such and
I
such.
think it was like Quebec. I think his name was.
Bridge to what was his rank? It doesn't matter.
Probably lieutenant or something. So
Bridge to Quebec.
Yes, sir.
I was just wondering if your privacy mode had also cut off the replicator in the ready room.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Okay, well that's a bad idea. Shot.
He said he wanted total privacy, and that's exactly what I
Total privacy from food and drink.
No, the replicator still has.
Surely he didn't mean that.
Well, I believe I did what I was doing. You can almost hear the poor Cajun's voice getting higher and higher as you start to panic.
Okay, well, it was an idea and it's not going to pan out. Okay, get on
The
resolving
replicator
the
still
situation.
sort of works, but only with anything that was stored locally, not anything that was. He won't be able to access the main database. So
the point is, we couldn't push something through.
No, sir. The whole point behind total privacy mode was exact. I'm going to go now. It's like the communication cuts off.
Well, we could just blow the door open if you want the captain now back.
Not so desperately as that.
I do believe he would not take kindly to damage to the bridge, especially if we are to be traced as the cause.
Especially if he happens to be right behind the door when we do it.
I mean, transporter room 2, the astrometry. Why not the captain's ready room?
Yes, it's almost like the ship is cursed.
I'm going to send a report. Is Commander Seng on board?
She's stationed on Deep Space 10. So.
Right.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to inform her that the captain is out of order, but
Pretty much,
I would know that.
She's been transferred to Deep Space 10, not permanently, but definitely on a ongoing basis, and it's starting to look more and more permanent.
Right.
Did she request it?
But yeah, I believe it was requested of her. It was as if someone's heavily suggested it would be good for her career, kind of thing. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
So, in other news,
Yes.
Tolek, head of the Science and Research Department, you must feel proud. Exactly with that badge, your medal of yours, aren't you?
I am appreciative that others see my contribution for what they have done for Starfleet, but that is all.
I'm just moving into proper position. Captain Shipping's ready room. There we go.
And you definitely can't wait to tell your parents about your newest achievement.
I shall.
Ricky said, they're going to be so proud of you,
Yeah.
And you can tell, I bet both your dads are going to be so friggin' happy about this.
Yeah. I will inform them when later.
Before you finish that sentence, there is a beep, beep on the sensor grid. Alerts. Yeah. Ricky immediately turns around to look at it. It's like, ooh. Oh. Oh dear.
A bit of extra information, please.
Well, it turns out. Oh yeah, sorry, sir.
For the rest of us.
Yes,
You know.
it's there appears to. Ooh, sorry, Lieutenant Tolick, could I bother you for a moment? And
What is it,
sort of-
Lieutenant?
basically, I need you to make a science and a science and insight roll, please. For there's something weird on the scanners.
Something weird.
Well, that's a generic term for it. You know, so
Yes.
I was going to say wibbly wobbly, because no,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
going
fine.
down that path.
Do any of my
Pro's not here. You can say wibbly wobbly if you like.
foci apply?
Not really, no, because
Is it alive? No. Okay.
you don't know. You just know that there's something weird on the scanners. It's something.
Okay.
It's something. Whew. Yeah, you immediately recognise it. There is a massive build-up of chronotons in front of the ship.
Chronotons.
As in,
What?
it's
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
starting to spike. Something.
There is a chronoton spike incoming.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Lieutenant Commander, please let us turn around and fly into the other direction.
Is it approaching the ship?
It is from. It is basically it's in front of the ship about. I would say probably about 10, 15 kilometers away. You know, it's close as far as starship distances are concerned. This is close.
And it's approaching. It's getting closer.
It's getting closer, and it's getting more potent, for want of a better term.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Turn us around, Ricky. I don't want to be caught in that particular wave.
This is more like a sort of as it's getting closer, you're noticing that there's a. It's not big. This is small, but it's pumping out a lot of chronotons. It's about. In fact, as you're looking at it, you actually start to see there's something emerging from this.
There seems to be
Weird
something emerging from the build-up.
Okay. Ricky,
Can I-
ready as to go to warp.
Yes, sir.
Yellow alert.
Yeah, I don't have a yellow alert, so I'm going to put it on red alert. Okay. I need to set up a yellow alert system. In fact, I need to set up yellow and blue.
Tolek will start to scan himself now
Go for it.
for all that he can do with the ship's help.
Something like this, yes, the ship would help. It's
And we might need the ship's help.
yes.
Oh damn it!
Yes, sir. Oh dear.
Or is it reason or insight, by the way?
This I think is going to be insight, yeah, because you're trying to figure out, like, that's curious.
Alright.
What's that?
Then this is not good. But the ship might be able to.
Yeah, they should at least, with new upgraded
Somebody-
sensor grid.
Yeah.
Like-
So it's sensors and science. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That would make sense.
the science tweaks have been activated, so the ship's a little bit more smarter, for want of a better term. And yeah,
All right,
it's-
that's good.
as you're scanning, you don't think that this is going to. Yay, well done, thank you. You don't think this is going to be a a problem for the Damocles' shields? 'Cause it feels, although this is a large focus of chronotons, it's not dangerous levels. It's
Does it appear that a ship is emerging?
as you're thinking that it answers itself by a small ship appearing
There is a vessel approaching
at impulse
at impulse.
and heading right towards the Damocles.
Right.
Not gonna state the obvious.
Well, you were a perfect echo.
Yes, it's like,
Yes.
Bing. And Tolik, you notice the energy signature of this straight away. This is a Federation ship.
This appears to be a Federation vessel.
Yeah, there's certain. I mean, you know that the warp cores that all the different races have give off particular signals, and you can spot a Federation warp core a mile away. And this is a Federation.
It might be
warp core.
necessary to provide assistance.
Can we determine the year, the time?
You would have to sort of basically get a little bit closer and analyse the ship to do it. But it's heading towards you at full impulse, by the way. So
Currently, I am.
I say you've got about a few minutes before it arrives.
So to be fair, when we can scan it, we could also look at the screen and just
Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah. And
See what time it's from.
If it's a time we recognise, at any rate.
Yeah.
it appears.
Yes,
I mean, easy enough. I mean, the new upgraded sensor array for the Damocles does give you actually it's like, ooh, it's actually nice and crisp actually. It doesn't have that strange little blur that most of them seem to have. It's like the equivalent of getting a new pair of glasses. You can say, detail. And
When you don't realise how bad your eyesight is getting until you put the new ones on.
yeah, that's basically
It's like,
what's
whoa,
happened.
I've
It's
been basically walking around half blind for a
I
year.
can see the patterns on a leaf. But yeah, Davin, I think for you this would be appropriate. I'd say make a. This is going to be, I'd say, probably a command or engineering. Try and identify.
Well, I'd much prefer command.
Yeah, let's go with command actually. No, because I want you to sort of have a decent roll chance for this one.
Okay, so this is down to Davrin's background with ships, I suppose.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say command and insights.
Right, huh?
And this is going to be a 2. This one.
I'll take one of those momentum then. This technically isn't a focus of mine, but it is in my background. So what do you think?
I'm allowing for that.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
allowing for that.
Right, so no focus and roll.
Now, this is definitely not a ship class you recognise. It's got all the hallmarks of a Federation ship, but this is not, I mean, it's small. It's it's probably a bit bigger than a standard shuttlecraft, but it's a bit smaller than a runabout. But again, having a quick glance at the the scan details, you see some very odd things about this ship. If you're reading this right, this ship has more firepower than the Damocles.
Can I remind everyone that we are also dealing with a possible invasion from the Mirror Universe, and the Pendrazi seems to catch ships from different time zones and places of the universe?
That's a fair point, well made.
As you're looking at the screen as well, you notice it seems the ship flickers out of existence for a moment and then flickers back in.
we should try to establish communications nonetheless.
Yes, hail that ship, please.
Do we have a communications officer?
Yeah, whoever the comms officer is, hail that ship.
That technically would be me, sir, says Lieutenant Ricky as he puts his hand up. I'm
dear.
I'm sure in character I probably knew that, Ricky, but okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's usual weird shit going on, so I understand. So, yeah, go on. Let's make a. What's it called?
Wouldn't be
Hailing
different.
frequencies. I've lost hailing frequencies. What is it?
Wouldn't be
Oh,
different
control
the
engineering.
obvious choice
Control
for
engineering.
communications.
Who wants to make the hail out of you three?
I mean, I'll
There
I'll
we
do
go.
the talking if it goes through.
Okay, control
Alright,
engineering.
then.
So I guess I'll do the role.
Okay, so it'll be control
Alright.
engineering plus communications engineering.
Or
So-
should I do this to the hail?
Yeah, you do the tech
control
stuff.
engineering.
It's the
not
tactical stuff.
Yeah, you can do
And
that.
control engineering sounds good to me.
And what was it? Communications and
It's control engineering for the person doing the main
Yeah.
role, assisted
And for
by
the ship?
comms and engineering.
comms and engineering coming up.
Excuse me. Okay. Why is that
Null
come up as null?
system?
Yeah, I was thinking, why is that come up as null?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's very
hold on.
weird.
Let me try that again.
Yeah, try that one again.
Let me just switch
So,
to something
even, though-
else.
even the character sheet's having technical difficulties. That is very bizarre.
How odd.
Okay. But the
I'm
thing
going to
is
say
right.
this is. I'm going to ignore, because that's going a bit weird. I'm going to ignore the complication range now.
All right.
Say it's a one bonus. I'll have to look into that. No point doing it now. For it to take ages. Yeah, you immediately get the data equivalent of a handshake, because the screen flickers, and you see on board the view screen a rather bedraggled, rather beaten up looking Trill. And very, very youngish looking.
Do I recognise them?
I must say, David, you probably do. I'm not going to make you roll for this one. It's you get a vibe from this person. You've seen them before. I'm not going to say exactly where from, but you probably know, like, look through like different Trill records and seen it there. But you believe this is someone you have, if either you've known or one of your previous hosts was known.
So it's sort of a feeling, or
yeah, it's not like a sort of like, I know you, and I know you from sort of thing. It's like, anyway, it's like this is the USS Forerunner, and you can see this Trill is beaten up. She's got bruises all over her face. There's blood trickling down the edge of her, right where the spots are on the side of her face. And yeah, she definitely looks quite young. I mean, if you sort of had to put in human terms, you'd say probably in her early 20s. I am Yinas Neil. What ship is this?
This is the USS Damocles. I am Commander Davrin Jan.
So the Damocles.
That is correct.
Oh, it worked.
May we be of assistance?
That would be very. And she just clumps forward onto the desk. As that happens,
Let's get her aboard.
The screen goes off, and you notice the ship starts accelerating.
Let's get her aboard quickly.
I catch her with a tractor. I catch the ship with a tractor beam.
Okay.
If that's possible.
And Chodek will at the same time try to beam her out just to be on the same side.
Okay. First things first. Let's go with the tractor beam first, because it'd probably be easier to beam something out from a ship that's not moving.
That makes sense.
So yeah, let's go with the old tractor beam first. Control and security, structure and security for the assist.
Structure and security.
I take a momentum
Right.
because I want to succeed, and I will roll.
Okay. Very nice.
Oh yeah.
However, I'm going to use a threat. The tractor beam hits, but fortunately, as it hits, the ship ripples and seems to phase out existence, and then a few seconds later, phases back in again, and the ship's getting closer.
Okay, so Chodek will now try to beam her over.
Okay, this is going to be very hard.
Alright.
This is probably going to be a 5. Because
Okay.
the ship's getting pretty close by this point.
Take whatever momentum you want now for that.
We are full of it.
Yeah.
What about momentum?
Is 5 or 6 the maximum?
I think it's 6.
6, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, then we are.
If I remember correctly, the way I've set it up, it can't go over the maximum.
Okay.
So it's either 5 or 6. So it will tell you when it's maxed out. So.
Nice. Okay, what do I roll?
Sorry, this is going to be. Well, you can be transporters, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say I'm going to say. This is good. I'm going to say science and control for this one, because this is a very delicate task.
Gonna take 3.
You're on a. Remember, it's a difficulty of 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm taking 3 momentum. And what does the ship do?
Is the ship computers and science, or is it sensors?
Never
and
mind.
science?
It doesn't matter. It's. You do.
Well done.
Despite the flickering.
Well, they might matter in terms of getting momentum back.
Despite the flickering of the ship and it's phasing in and out of existence.
Don't push it.
You sense there seems to be almost like a regular pattern to this, or at least a predictable pattern. And Tyle's Vulcan computer-like mind immediately figures this out. Boom, latches onto the life sign. Where do you beam this life sign, this person to?
Pretty much leading the shot a bit.
Yeah, it's like wait for it, now. Boom, you know, but it's actually a surprisingly clean lock on. It's actually very impressive. You know, you can imagine there's a few people just going. So, where do you beam her to?
Right to the bridge.
Okay. You notice the on the floor. This
Wait, sorry, got in the way of logic here. To the sick bay.
yeah, there is a
She is unconscious, so
there's the site-to-site transport indicator, and you notice the ship is still getting closer. In fact,
evasive action.
as you say that, the ship hits the front of the Damocles and phases through the ship. From your point of view, you actually see, flickering briefly, this shuttle phasing through the bridge and passes through all of you. It's
to impulse, or at least.
It's a very weird sensation, and then it seems to stop, and then the whole ship feels a
Damage report, please.
Captain. Sorry, Lieutenant. Do we call him? Do we call him Captain? I don't bloody know.
At the moment, yes.
Just report, please.
This is Shuttle Bay 1, sir.
Yes.
I don't quite know how to say this. We appear to have a new shuttle.
Is it in the
That's a
shuttle bay?
lot better news than I was expecting.
Unfortunately, it scared. If you pardon my language, sir, it scared the crap out of one of the ensigns, and he's having to go and change his underwear now, sir, because it stopped about 2 inches from his face.
Well, we're very fortunate, but that's where it stopped.
Yeah, well, his underwear's not. Yeah. Okay.
We'll be down momentarily.
Yeah. That would be grand, sir. Shuttle Bay out.
And bridge engineering.
You hear in the background, Vez and Ved basically just like panicking and going, "It's not supposed to bloody do that. I don't know." It's like, and you hear him like swearing and Romulan and things like that. It's like, yes. How can I help you, Bridge? This is the main.
We need someone who has some expertise in chronometric distortions and how to stabilize them in Shuttle Bay 1, unless we want to be ripped apart by a shuttle from the future.
Yeah, with all due respect, sir, I heard that sentence. I understood the words, but it made no sense. A shuttle? Is that what that joke was? Actually, you know what? I've been on this ship long enough. I don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll have something down there.
Just send someone with an understanding of temporal mechanics, please.
Yeah, that's a problem, sir. We're kind of screwed on that one. No, as far as I'm aware, nobody on this ship has a grasp of temporal mechanics.
Right. Well, then in that case, we'll
probably
muddle
the smartest
through.
person on the ship is Tonic, sir.
Do you know what? We've got Archie. It'll be fine.
Good call.
Thank you.
I've got 2 panicking Romulans to deal with. I'll be right back.
Well, Dalek, I heard the sentence that time is a living thing once.
That is an interesting theory. I shall have to meditate on it. Lieutenant Commander, do you wish me to go to Shuttle Bay 1 or to Sick Bay?
I think Shuttle Bay 1 for now. Our visitor's not going to get more conscious unless we desire her to be, so why don't we check out this ship first?
Okay.
Acknowledged.
Yeah. Fortunately, I couldn't find a image to represent the ship, so imagine it's like a slightly bigger version of the Delta Flyer.
Tira, could you send a security detail to Sick Bay just in case?
Yeah, and I will send our people, not those big scary ones.
Yes. So,
Todek to Archie, please meet me in Shuttle Bay 1.
I am on my way, Tolek. Is this to do with the incident that just occurred?
It is.
I shall be right there.
And Todek will brief Archie via comms while they're both on the way.
Yeah. As you're heading towards the shuttle bay, Davin, being the commanding officer now currently, you're getting a few feedback from the rest of the ship. It appears that the cloaking device says, to quote, throwing a shit fit right now, but is a reboot will
It's
fix
a technical
it.
term.
Yeah, it's a reboot will fix it. Basically, turn it off and on again. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the main structure of the ship, but again, a few of the engineers are a bit worried by what just happened by something phasing through them. But when you get into the shuttle bay, after only a few minutes, you do see in front of you what can best be described as a slightly larger version of the Delta Flyer. And it's definitely got that Federation look to it. It's got all the classic hallmarks. It's got the two small nacelles. In fact, it's almost like a cross between a Delta Flyer and a runabout. And you can see across the front, what can I call it?
USS Forerunner.
USS Forerunner. Doesn't have a registration. It just has USS Forerunner in the standard fonts. And now you can actually see the ship up close. You notice towards the back there is what appears to be, I suppose you'd call it like blaster damage? Disruptor damage? Something like that? It's definitely a weapon fire. Something has hit the ship fairly recently. There's a very peculiar smell in the air that, burnt metals, and it's not mega strong, but it's. You've been around enough ships to have weapon damage to know that this ship has definitely recently been in combat.
We should check out the ship's computer systems and log. And if any temporal agents have something against it, please show up yourself now.
I'm not convinced that trying to board it at the present time would be a good idea.
Okay. Now, as you're getting around to the, I suppose you could say the cockpit windows, I suppose the best way to describe it. David, you immediately see that there are two bodies lying on the ground in the ship. And could you make a...
Are there obvious signs that they are dead?
They look dead. I would say they look dead. Can you actually no, I'm not going to make you roll for this one because this is damn obvious. You notice that again, both of them are true. There's the distinctive spots that only, as far as you're aware, only one species in the galaxy has. Running both their sides of their head. You can see one's like sort of lying like that, and you can see the side of their face, and the other one's lying more sort of on their back. So you can actually see the markings quite easily.
Okay, I agree that we should need to see the logs, but I am concerned with the idea of boarding this ship. We do not know what the Federation of the future is like. Also, the lack of a registration number suggests some kind of secrecy, perhaps belonging to a clandestine branch, should we say. For all we know, there could be security protocols which could be harmful to us if we try and board.
That's why I wouldn't suggest that we all go in, that only one goes in very carefully.
There's...
Well...
You
if
do
you're
see
volunteering,
a couple of the I do call it the what do you call it? Not deckhands, the people who work in the shuttle bay, a couple of ensigns, lieutenants, whatever, are looking at the ship, and you can see them like looking at the ship, and like that's pretty snazzy. And a few of them are running basic scans, like with the tricorders, but
yeah. So will Tolek and Archie to determine how it might be stabilized.
Okay. Again, as you're watching the ship, it does occasionally flicker, but it doesn't seem doesn't seem to be as bad as it was before. But it's a definite.
Well, it would be a quick way to get a grasp of what's going on before we talk with our new patient. So I would go in, but please keep a log with the transporter.
Lieutenant, you should wait until we have possibly stabilized the chronoton field.
You
think want you to disappear.
Says, Tolek is correct, Lieutenant. It would be unwise for someone such as yourself to enter a unstable chronoton area.
Tira, perhaps in the meantime you could try and identify what kind of weapons have caused these blast marks on the back.
Do I recognize his blast?
Yeah, I'm not even going to make you roll for this one, Tira. You've been studying these people for a long time now. You recognise the hallmarks of the Bendrazi psionic cannon.
Oh shit.
It was the Bendrazi.
Yeah, it's
A vessel from the future under attack by the Bendrazi.
By a psionic impulse.
Well, that doesn't bode well.
Fascinating.
and hearing that, it's you Tolik. It's
Mm-hmm.
you think that now that you've got an idea of, this is from Archie, so to say, not you yourself. Archie suggests, Tolik, if this what Lieutenant Tira says is true, this is Bendrazi. I believe I know how we can stabilise the chronoton field, thus stabilising the ship. But I require your assistance.
You have it.
And so
Different. Aren't Trill telepathic gifted?
There is a latency, shall we call it.
Might have something to do that there are only Trill on board when they were fighting against a ship equipped with a psionic weapon.
That's a fascinating point, to coin a phrase normally coined by our fucking friend. Fascinating.
I imagine Tolik's tinkering for it's like
Yeah, he's not even looking up. It's just
But yeah, that's an interesting line of thought. Yeah.
okay. So it's like
okay. So what do Archie and me roll?
Right, what I'm doing is, to just make things a bit easier, I'm just going to get you to do a science and control roll. But normally this will be a 4, but I'm going to say with Archie helping, and now you've got the information this is Chronoton messed around with by the psionic cannon, you've got a few ideas to make it a little bit easier for yourself. So it's only going to be a 3 rather than a 4.
Okay, I'm gonna use some momentum.
Yes. I'm trying to think. Will you be assisted by the ship? Not really, because this is up close and personal sort of thing. So not for this one.
Does Archie have that? Then I mean.
Ah, screw it. Okay, tell you what. You can do it via Archie because he's channeling the ship, sort of thing. So
Okay.
He's basically the ship's avatar now. So. Okay.
Yeah, some assistance might be appreciated.
Yes, that is.
So do I roll for the ship or do I roll again?
Yeah,
or...
roll for the ship because in effect Archie is the ship. So.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Oh no, sorry, that was okay. Science and computer or?
Yeah. Go with computer for this one.
All right. Did you just roll or?
No, I just adjusted our momentum because you forgot when you rolled with 5 dice that we adjusted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea having, I think, like one person to focus on that rather than everyone changing it and things going squiffy. So, well done.
Yeah.
You just been that is those are now your duties as head of tactical. You are keeper of momentum.
So I'm head of tactical now.
Yes. Well, technically,
Good.
yes.
Does he get a bonus in personal momentum for having to handle it?
No, don't push it.
Worth a shot.
Try?
Yeah, no, yeah, worth a shot.
Okay, so we have 3.
Now, it's like, you notice that even Archie says, Tolik, we can stabilise this field, but it will still occasionally phase out. I cannot guarantee how long we will have before the next phasing, but for the moment, the ship is, for all intents and purposes, stable. However, time would be of the essence. If you will
I
pardon me.
suggest a very quick inspection.
That would be most prudent.
I also say to the.
This is Archie, he's trying to do, and he says yes, that would be most prudent.
Devon,
Go.
your word,
Go for it.
and I run into the nearest console with a recorder out to copy the database of the ship.
Okay, first
So
things
that
first, Tira runs immediately into the bulkhead because the door isn't open.
Oh, you're gonna be that kind of GM, are you, Chris?
Today,
Okay.
yeah, I've had sugar, okay? So yes, I am going to be that kind of GM today.
I opened the door, shuttle door, and I.
It opens quite easily, actually.
Nobody saw that.
Yeah. Again, you see like a few a couple of the engineers and the people who understand. It's like, no, did you save it? No, I'm focusing on this. Yeah, immediately you go to and inside this. I don't really call it a shuttle because it's not really a shuttle. It's almost like a runabout. So I'm going to call it a shuttle for now, until I can come up with a better term for it. But immediately inside, you see that this ship is advanced, very advanced. It's got, from your briefings, you can see that this has got stuff in it that you've only theoretically thought of, seen in like your briefings, thinking, oh, that would be nice, but it would be like about 100 years or so before they can develop that. But again, right in front of you, you see the 2 dead trills.
Mm-hmm. Which Todek would get out of the ship. Even if they are dead, it's still proper. So Todek would take care of the biomass.
Okay. So are you removing the dead bodies, or you...
Well, yeah, getting them out and then checking for, maybe they're not dead.
Okay. So first things first, let's do with what Andreas was going on.
Well,
first.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So imagine, like, whilst he's doing this, whilst Tira's doing this, it's like in the background you see Tolek. The Vulcans are pretty strong, pretty much picking up both of the trills at once and like trundling out. So, what was you doing inside this ship?
Going to the main console and start copying the database of the shuttle and its log.
Okay, this is going to be I'm going to say this is going to be an engineering and control role. This is
with my hacking focus.
This is, even allowing for that, this is going to be a difficulty of 4 and a complication of 4. Yeah.
It might be easier just to wake the pilot up. Be honest.
I go for it.
Although you can recognise the ship, this is definitely it's like, whoa, this is some weird stuff going on in this ship.
I go for it.
Alright. Fortune favours the bold.
Luck favors the bold. Exactly. I was invoking that value. So we have already 2 successes. And now I roll with 5 dice.
Yes.
And a focus.
Yes.
Well, I succeed in it. And we get 1 momentum back, but
as you are scanning the, well, I suppose you can call it the database and trying to interface with it, and yeah, this is the standard Federation protocol. So accessing it is easy, but at the same time, it's like to use a modern metaphor, it's the equivalent of a Windows 7 PC trying to talk to a Windows 10 PC. It can do it, but it's struggling a little bit. And as you're doing that, you notice at the corner of your eye, the ship is starting to phase. But it's a lot slower than it was before.
Bye, Tira.
Archie, give me a
whereas
time
before
frame.
the whole ship, this time you can almost see, from your point of view, you can see the ship.
I
the ship
shout
is creeping
out.
towards you.
Archie, give me a time frame. How much do I have?
About 10 seconds, Tira.
Transporter room 1.
5 seconds.
Beat me out in 4 seconds.
2 seconds now.
You immediately get beamed out as the ship
Jesus.
phases away.
That was cutting it far too fine.
Yeah. And you materialise in the transporter room.
I said transporter room 1.
You get trapped forever in a
Unfortunately, you get trapped in the buffer of transport room 2. No, you materialise in transporter room 1. Safe and sound. The operator's like, oh, your signal was getting a bit weird towards the end there, sir. It's like you were. It was like, I'm glad you're in one piece.
You did good.
Thank you, sir.
And back to the shuttle bay with my tricorder, and I walk, I go through the data.
As you're looking at the data, you make a roll.
Another!
Yes, another one. There's a lot of rolls going this one tonight because this is some weird shit that's happening with this shit. And again, I think it's probably I'm gonna say science and insight for this one. Yeah.
But a normal roll, right?
Yeah, just a normal roll. It's just to see if you can get what you got, whether or not you can understand it and things like that.
Well, it's 50-50.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, you think you managed to get something, but it doesn't make sense what you're reading. It's this ship is, the ship that you got this from was way in advance, but this data appears to be only hours old.
What?
Yeah, it's something's happened to the log. Somebody has changed it.
So it's only hours old in our time frame,
Yes.
rather than it's just a couple of hours old in the future.
Yeah, it's like this is somebody has tampered with this. This is not. This should not be. Even. How can I put it? It's like, even on a normal ship, you can always tell when a log was originally created, and when a log has been updated. This log was updated only hours ago. Sorry, so it was me wrong words on my part, so I was confusing the matter.
So probably the start date is only a few hours ago instead several years in the future.
Yeah. So it's like this thing. It's curious.
And with a thinking look on her face, Tira returns to Shuttle Bay 1.
In the meantime,
We'll flash back to the shuttle bay.
in the meantime, once we hear that Tira got out okay, Davrin asked Tolek and Archie to put their minds to the problem of whether having a literal ship out of time phase through our hull might have had any side effects.
Yeah. Well, Tadek will first check the two bodies for any life signs because he is a kind of a bit of a medic at heart.
True.
Yes.
Archie can put his mind to it first.
Yes, and Tadek will join.
I shall devote as much as my processes will allow. Lieutenant
Thank you,
Commander.
Archie.
And you seems like, if you excuse me, Tolek, I will retire to the science lab where I can. Nods, visual nods, and just trundles off. Now, Tolek, can you please make a? And this is going to be a.
We've got to get him something better than a TV stand, by the way.
It's pretty much.
It's pathetic.
Yeah. Well, it's what Tadek could build. He's not
considering the resources that were available, it's actually done pretty damn well.
Do you know what? I think
Archie
if
seems
Tira
happy.
and Davrin put their engineering skills together, they could probably do something pretty good.
Probably could actually.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The question is
maybe.
if you want to do that.
True. Do we really want him to be VAT free to move?
Give him a mech suit.
Oh yeah.
A full-on Jaeger.
Yeah.
We make him a transformer.
With my pen.
He can transform into a toaster. That's about the level I'll trust him with at this point in time.
Yes, Tonic. Yes, please make a science and insight roll.
Wouldn't that be inside of medicine? Just checking because
you are correct. You are actually correct in this.
I mean,
you are correct. I don't have problems with being pointed out if I'm.
I am lowering my chances here, but I think medicine would be the appropriate
right.
step.
If I do make big fudge ups like that, please don't be afraid to call me out on it.
All right.
Okay, you notice straight away these two bodies are they're definitely dead.
All right.
They are 100% dead.
They are
Dead, Dave.
extra.
They are also both joined.
Oh man, that's 2 deaths in one.
What
them
about the
now.
symbionts?
Both of them are joined.
Yeah. Okay. And then the symbionts are dead as well.
Very much so.
All right.
Man, that's tragic.
Okay.
In
Just
effect, 4 lives. Well, more
Yeah.
people.
If you tell Davrin that, he looks mortified.
in a moment. Tadek is just checking. Do they have any contagious diseases?
No, if anything, they actually seem physically surprisingly
okay.
healthy.
All right. So
You know, it's
scientifically,
just the fact that, in effect, I mean, if you had to sort of put a cause of death, it's neurological overload.
all right. Okay. So scientifically, Todek is disappointed, but also glad for the crew, and he will then say, Lieutenant Commander, these two are deceased. Unfortunately, they are joint trill.
There's an audible drop in the like, anyone who's nearby, it just hears this, just goes, oh.
Chris,
Yes.
is there such a thing as a database of symbionts?
Yes, it would be with the Symbiosis Commission on Trill.
Because, at the very least, given how long they live, there's a very good chance we can identify the symbiont.
Yeah, they are. I think you'd have to send the genetic markers or something like that. But yeah, they could identify the symbionts.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
But this is, it's these trills they're dead. They are well and truly dead. It's like literally, if to use the computer metaphor, it's as if their CPUs have been fried, both in the host and the symbiont.
That is a tragedy.
It's
And he doesn't say anything else. He's got nothing else to say, really.
There's even a few of the engineers who are on the deckhands who are working around the ship. You can see them just all go.
I guess Stavrin is sort of he had the gut feeling about the pilot, so I guess he might be kind of sort of privately listening and feeling and seeing what his symbiont might be saying. Because for all he knows, the symbiont might recognize them on some level, even though they're dead.
Okay,
so,
let's cool. In fact, actually,
I don't know how they work. Obviously, nobody does,
what I'm
really.
going to say is, for this one, I am not going to make you roll. You don't recognise the trills themselves, the hosts,
which would make
which makes sense. It's but even so, it's you still kind of shake this feeling that you have seen the pilot before. You're not entirely sure exactly where from, but you do remember that there is, if you can get a genetic sample of the symbiotes, which is very easy to do, you can get in contact with the Symbiosis Commission, and they can at least identify who the symbionts are. Maybe not the hosts, but definitely the symbionts.
Yeah, he's just thinking, I as a player also am just thinking, is there a way to do that without actually requiring them to know why I want the information?
Oh no, it's something that you could probably go. I mean, you would probably say to them, how can I put this? I don't want them to.
You
would probably have to roll for that one, because that would be a bit of a bullshitting move.
Yeah, because I don't want these symbionts to know they're destined to die.
Yeah,
okay. We don't want to mess around with time in that way.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
Why not?
So I mean, we can say we've cut to a little bit later.
Temporal Prime Directive, I believe.
That is correct. Yes.
As long as there are no time agents, well, cool.
Yeah, the time agents will appear as soon as I make the decision to let the symbiote.
Collared sort of thing.
Yeah,
this is definitely something you could do. It's like getting the sample and getting a data reading of their DNA.
Well, let's get the bodies to sick bay, to med bay for now.
Easy enough done. They can be transported. There's no contaminants. Like I say, it's pretty much host.
And Davrin orders one of the engineers or one of the crew in the bay to mark out a sort of a safe border around where the ship is going to be phasing in and out.
And as you are actually saying that, you do actually see a brief of where the ship is, and then it phases back out again.
Yeah.
Okay. Todek will, on his way to the next location, just briefly put a hand on on Davrin's shoulder.
Yes.
Which he usually would definitely not do.
Yeah, that's very unusual.
It's a gesture of condolence. Yeah.
that Davrin looks over at him and seems to recognize the significance of the gesture, and he just nods. And then he touches his comm and says, "Davrin to Tira, we're on our way to the med bay."
Right, I'm the corner around you, but okay. And I have good news and bad news for you.
Give me the bad news first. I'm in that kind of mood.
Everything alright?
The two deceased members of the crew were both joined Trill. More of a tragedy. It was a tragedy to begin with, but obviously.
I'm sorry to hear that. Can I do something for you?
It's okay. Let's just get this solved.
Okay. The data we have recovered was tampered with.
In what way?
In that way that it's only a few hours old.
And then we go through the whole rigmarole a few hours in our timeline.
Yeah, it's like yes, we go through all that.
No, I mean
skip a
that.
bit, brother.
Which says, but it's also good news because it says two things to us. We have two theories here right now. Either they were actually fighting a few hours ago against the Bendrazi and used a time jump, or someone wants us not to know the entire truth, and if there's someone, that someone can be found.
I have a third theory based on what you've told me.
Let it hear.
They are from the future. They came to the present, and then they were attacked by the Bendrazi, and changed the logs in order to not give the Bendrazi more information if the ship were captured.
Good one.
But we'll find out the truth once we talk to the pilot.
So, where are you all heading?
Could you take a break?
Yeah, I was about to say, this is actually sort of explain where.
Oh wow, it's 9:30, yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, I thought it was earlier than that.
At the very least, the toilet break now would not be...
Yeah, I think my bladder needs it as well. So, yeah, we're going to have a very quick break and we will be back in a few minutes. So I'm going to mute this. Oh, take us off for yellow alert as well. There we go. Okay, I'm just waiting for Tolik's technical difficulties to sort itself out. He's in the turbo lift, but yeah, Darren, we're going to continue. Wait, I'll wait till he comes back. We might have to reboot Discord or something. So,
his camera's visible to me in Discord, although I
can't see him.
Hanno is completely visible and
Yeah.
everything for me too.
Can you hear me?
I can't see him on my screen. In fact, I seem to be going very juttery. So it might be my Discord that's having a wibble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can hear me, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I can hear
See
you.
you.
I see you. Let me just okay. Technical difficulties. I shall be right back.
What would be online gaming without them?
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It
because
would be beautiful.
the stream is basically my feed. So if I can't see him, then the stream can't see him. So, okay. Right, that's not good. Okay, now I'm going to sort this, because the last time I had to leave Discord and come back. Right,
Alright, prepare for the cameras to go skewy on 3,
yeah.
2,
Everything's about to go to shit, so don't panic, Mr. Mannering. I'm going to leave the chat and come back. Try that again. There we go. And we're back. Hey. So yes, online gaming without technical issues would be offline gaming. Yeah, that's actually very true. That's very true.
fair point.
So, let us continue. We're going to assume that it's been about an hour or so has passed between the phasing of the ship. Davin has got the information he's needed, sent off a report, a communique to the Symbiosis Commission, who are now very urgently trying to get in contact with the Damocles. There is a major panic alert, sort of like priority 1 communication coming from Trill. And it's being routed via Deep Space 9, through the wormhole, through Deep Space 10 to the Damocles. This is a top priority phone, in effect, top priority phone call that you're getting. And I'll put Los Hanno again.
Okay.
Hello,
Mind.
Oh, hang on.
Wait.
It's all going weird shit. Everyone's going weird.
Andres grew up. Oh,
We'll try again.
Completely gone for me.
Yeah, you got
Hang
for
on.
me. You guys went
Hang
totally robot.
Yeah, everybody paused, and then it was like Hanno disappeared, and it's like the board had taken over.
right.
Right, okay, quick test. How we going? Yep. I'm just checking the subspace in. Yeah, shit's going weird. Hey, temporal mechanics. Interference, yes.
Never again make a temporal episode.
Technically, this isn't a temporal episode. Technically.
Yeah.
'Cause I said
Okay, so that is a very urgent call, and I will answer it. But I want one of the others to make an urgent call to our engineers and see how they're getting on with Captain Prua's privacy screen. Because it's been about an hour and a half now, and
you
he
can
might
see
be
like they're
leaving
there
it.
in front of
I
you.
volunteer.
On the bridge, out the corner of your eye, you can actually see the same two engineers, or like they're looking at the dog
volunteer-
going, how?
I volunteer for it, towering over them. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
As you're doing that, one of them like, Miss, scared the crap out. Yeah, it's You did too good, and the occasion engineer turns to his compatriot, who is, I suppose you could say, what's a good species? Say a Bolian. Is it the blue one with the line on their heads? The Bolians? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys.
Sounds right.
And so I said to him, "You've done a really good job on this. You took it literally." I know, but hi. And this is a very, for bowling. This dude's short, not mega short, but he's on the shorter side. And fortunately, Tira is quite tall for an Andorian. And also, she has that presence that can only be described as towering. And she is looking down at this Bolian, who is... He's going a slightly lighter pale blue. We can fix it, sir, but it is just going to take time. And you kind of shrink away from him.
Here's a suggestion. Just cut off the power to the room and open the door mechanically.
We've tried that, sir. It's total. The whole. With all due respect, sir, I think this fuckwit put in a time delay. And before anything happens, you do again the emergency priority 1 call coming through from Trill.
Okay, yeah, patch it through.
I mean, on screen you see this is something that you, Davrin, would probably recognise from your early days as a host. I suppose you could call her. She is not quite a nurse, but definitely a sort of high-ranking person in the Symbiosis Commission. They are, I don't know what the proper term is, but they are the person who, once somebody has been joined, they talk them through. They basically get to know the new Trill, and make sure that the host is the symbiote is settled in properly. They're like a kind of like a psychologist, like a nurse sort of thing, and they are the ones who know pretty much everything about the symbiotes that they're charged to look after. And you recognise one as probably, in fact, it was actually the one who helped you through your transition from non-joined to joined. It's like, Davrin, what a pleasure to see you again. I do wish it was under more, pleasant circumstances. That information you sent us, how valid is it?
I can confirm absolute validity, but the circumstances here are such that I would not want to confirm much more than that.
I understand. That might explain things, actually. Keeping in the spirit of this conversation, those trills don't exist. Or no.
Are you up now?
That is the wrong choice of words. Those joined trills do not exist. Those symbionts, the ones you sent us the data for, they haven't been joined. They are
ever?
No. Yes, I think you can understand why this call was so important.
Okay, so
what is even weird is that I had the pleasure of birthing one of these symbionts only... Oh, we've got technical difficulties again. It's like... signals.
We've lost Hanno.
We've lost the Hanno. Okay. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
How long does it take from the birth of symbiont till they're joined?
It can vary, but approximately a year.
Okay.
It's this is me, Chris, making that up, by the way.
So these are the symbionts that currently exist.
They actually exist, but when I said they didn't exist, it was again a poor choice of words on my part.
You meant the symbiosis did not exist.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Sorry. It's just this data that you've sent us is if it is what I suspect it is, this conversation, we are going to have to end this conversation very soon.
Yes, and I'm glad you understand this information cannot go further.
Oh, this is not something we've encountered before, but ironically we have planned for.
Good.
We have a protocol in place, and I would ask that you return the items to Trill at your earliest convenience.
I understand, and I will do my best, though I believe I will have to have a conversation with Starfleet Command first.
Of course. This is unprecedented. Although it is... I will not say anymore, but this is definitely something that is going to freak out a few people. We have to keep this.
Chris, do we have since she's been unconscious in the med bay for an hour and a half now? Do we have the same details for her for the other Trill? Have we sent that across?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is you're getting the same information back. All 3 Trills are pretty much newborns. In fact, they're still on Trill in the caves.
How do we? Does Federation Science have enough data about the symbiotes that we would have an indication of how old we think they are?
This is something you would probably have to do a particular scan for. But yes, it's
Or
something.
perhaps they could, or perhaps they could tell us with the information that we've sent. Maybe.
It's difficult from just a DNA sample, but yes, you have to actually, in effect, you would have to actually scan the equivalent of the symbiote's brains to do that.
Okay, well that's a job for Tolek in a minute then.
It can be done. It has happened in the past, rather tragically, when dead Trills have turned up. You can work out who the host was and roughly how many. Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for confirming what you've been able to confirm.
Thank you, Davin. Again, always a pleasure to speak with someone such as yourself. But
next time next time I visit Trill, I'll make sure to look you up.
Thank you. It would be nice to actually see how John is getting on again. Anyway, I will end this conversation and I'll leave my logs. Goodbye. She leans forward. Screen goes blank.
Okay, so confirmation of what we already thought we knew.
And also another hint that we might have to do here with psionic command, psionic war force from the Federation against the Bendrazi of the future.
Let's see how our guest is feeling.
Medibay, EMH2, bridge.
Go ahead, EMH.
Well, Captain Pro, Davin.
Captain Frewer is currently indisposed.
Still?
I am. I'm in charge at the moment, EMH.
Oh dear. This is a problem.
Which bit?
And you, even through those holograms, you can be saying, "Not that I'm disputing your command capabilities, Captain." Yes, that would be the proper term, Captain. But I think it would be best if yourself, Lieutenant Tira, and Tolek came down to the medical bay, and I would suggest that Lieutenant Tira comes armed.
Well, that's convenient because that's exactly what was going to happen.
Marvellous. I will say she is awake, and you can hear it in the background now, as if something's being thrown.
Right. Well, we'll hurry.
That would be marvellous. EMH out.
Right. Tira.
Yeah.
You heard, right?
I heard it.
Great. Let's go.
Let's see if this works.
I grab the face I've hidden under my console and...
Tolek.
I was just checking to see if it was... no, it's not.
Tolek, we don't necessarily need Archie's presence, but I think given the sort of mind-boggling conundrums this conversation may pose to us, it might not be a bad thing if he overheard it and could help us with the processing logically of what is going on.
Easy enough to patch Archie in. That's
Yeah. Tolek will ask him to tune in.
I shall observe, Tolek.
Thank you.
As you enter the Medibay, again, you see there's been a little bit of damage. You can see that there's the Trill that was unconscious earlier. She's definitely awake, but she is huddling in the corner, and it looks like she's got something in her hand. Every so often she just picks something up and throws it in your general direction. So, again, pink. So, yes, as you can see, she is awake and relatively well. However, we have a problem. Lieutenant
Who wants
Tira,
to go first?
Sorry?
I asked to Tolek and Davin. Who wants to go first?
Well, I think she may react better to me.
Yes, I suggest also Lieutenant Commander Devlin.
So go ahead, EMH.
Yes, it's. And he motions you to like sort of again. You can see like he's been surprisingly gentle with. It's like we are just going over to. And he points towards where the bodies of the other joined trills are, dead trills are. And you see she's like, "Don't harm them, you bastard." But you notice she wasn't directing that at the EMH. She was directing that as Tolik.
Ah. Okay.
Tolek, would you do to us please a favor and leave them at bay?
No, it's
Certainly.
she again.
Just until I can explain the situation, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to sort of
Agreed.
put a word on how she's acted at the moment, it's almost feral.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tolek
This
would
thing
just
that she's throwing, is it
wait
like a ball?
outside.
Or what?
We have some problems with these hosts. I believe this is the correct term. Even in
That's
their
right,
current,
yes.
in their current state. He holds up a data pad. It's like, although I am knowledgeable about basic trill physiology as part of my programming, Lieutenant Commander Davrin.
Quite alright. I made a little mistake of my own earlier. It's quite alright.
It is, considering what I have discovered, this is quite worrying. And he hands you over a data pad.
Well, I sure wish Tolek was still in the room to tell me what this means.
So, one moment, I might be able to help with that. And he sort of like yeah, you see him like tap 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 on the thing, and a security force field appears in front of her. It's like, computer, release level 1 level of anisetin gas into the quarantined area.
For the record, Davin has medicine 1, so this is like, these are just
So, yeah, you look at this and
squiggles
going,
to him.
Did you need to gas her?
This is. You will understand. I will get to it, but I believe this is something Lieutenant Tolek does need to see.
Okay.
Tolek, you can come in again. The doctor has gassed us a patient.
You see now the smoke of gas. Is,
Non-lethally, we hope.
no, it's not. It is anisetin is basically it's like a generic sort of gas, but you can see she's.
Something's gone horribly wrong with the EMH.
She's slumped back. You can see she's still looking, but it's as if it's like she's like really tired all of a sudden. But still, as Tolek enters the room again, there's still that look of pure hatred being directed towards the Vulcan.
Okay. It's okay, Tolek. He's not evolved into the emergency murdering hologram. It's okay.
Just don't. Just
The
start
EMH gives you a sort of really. I beg your pardon. Look.
just start to worry if he asks somebody to shower.
I'm sorry, EMH. I have this bad habit of injecting levity into situations where it does not belong.
Yeah, I believe, from a psychological point of view, this actually would be more beneficial. Again, Lieutenant Tira, I would ask that you keep your weapon trained on. He points towards the person who's slumped.
She's behind a force field. I don't think that I have to point a weapon at her.
Okay. If you think she's that dangerous, let's get this conversation over with so we can make a decision.
Okay. He again hands the data pad to Lieutenant Tolek.
Tolek will take a look.
This represents. He points to the first body. Please look at the memory engrams level.
Alright.
Now you notice that there is this. Now you've seen a few trill in your time. You've scanned a few, and even the most long-lived symbiont, pretty much in their lifetime, has a maximum of around 20 hosts, give or take. This one's got about 40 in its memory engrams.
Fascinating. It appears
And
that
you didn't also
yeah.
see something odd. Some of the hosts were not true.
Tolek raises an eyebrow.
And
It appears that
he hands you the second data pad. This represents.
Yeah.
And again, you see large numbers of hosts. A few of them non-Trill. And this is
Alright,
our
Todek
current
will
patient. He hands you
translate for the others.
I'm
As-
sorry. Could you repeat that, Tolek?
Todek will repeat it in the same tone of voice.
He did also. It's like, this is what I am concerned over, and
Does that mean what I
Uh,
think
no.
that means?
Well, what about the current patient?
this is
That I
this is why I am concerned. And he again hands you the data pad, and you notice that this symbiont has had lots and lots and lots of hosts. The mechanism for tracking how many previous hosts this Trill has had is above 50. And some of them are, you recognise as Klingon and Dorian,
Todek will just read it, just
human,
go through
and
the
then
data.
you
and-
notice the line that sends metaphorically a
Deadwood.
shiver down your spine. Borg.
Yeah, Todek will just interpret the data and just name the species.
Yeah, not in the same host, but there is definite indicators that one of the previous hosts of this current symbiont was Borg.
But okay, would that be a host that became Borg after?
It seems the best way to describe it is, now Tira, you are again listen to this. You are
At that, just really quick, I go to the patient, point at Tolak. Did he do that to you?
She can't hear us though, right? I thought.
Oh, no, they can hear.
Yeah.
She can hear.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's just a generic force field. It's not like a dampening force field. It's literally just a force field to stop the gas from spreading into the rest of the room. But she's not unconscious. But she's basically just drugged off her tits right now, to put it metaphorically. It's like, no, he saved Neil, saved me. Just he's, and again, sort of, you can see it's like with the drugs, she's struggling to communicate, but it's not. Doesn't seem to be aggressive now. It's like there's almost like a switch that's happened in her brain. It's like she's gone from being hyper aggressive to now being, for want of a better expression, normal. Just drugged. And something you do remember, Tira, is the reports that came in not long after Wolf 359, where some trills, especially a certain trill that you remembered, and sort of looked up to, Commander Junior Rue of the Sally Ride, who had once had been partially assimilated. It's not as bad as hers, but you recognise the signs that there is, if not this host, then the previous host, or won't be one before that. You've got no way of saying exactly when, but recently this symbiont was in a host that had been assimilated.
So to answer your question, Devin, the symbiont wasn't put into Borg. The host was assimilated.
That would make more sense.
There is hallmarks all over the. Now you've seen almost like what do they call it, the projection. You can see that there are very minute, small Borg probes.
However,
symbiont.
Davrin looks to the AMH and says, however, I imagine, but we have no studies on record of how Borg technology would interact with a symbiont across multiple generations.
No, it's the only one time I'm aware of on record is the aforementioned Junior Rule from the Sally Ride. But even then, it was more the host that Rue symbiont was in was partially assimilated, not from previous hosts.
And this is your major cause of concern.
It is. Although we know how to handle partially assimilated beings, this is beyond anything I have seen before. the fact that there are memory engrams from Klingons, Andorians, Bajorans. This is, and again he points to various marks. Do you see these marks, Daphne? As again, he's pointing them out to you. You show, you can see that when this symbiote has been. I mean, normally it's actually quite a gentle procedure. The taken out from the previous hosts and placing in new ones. Borderline religious. They treat the symbiotes with reverence and delicacy. This symbiote's been abused, to put it mildly.
Is it possible that those memory engrams come from the Borg hive mind?
This is very possible, but some of them seem to be a lot deeper within the symbiont, for want of a better term. I believe, if I had to say what happened, is that this symbiont was forcibly placed into other hosts, and one of them just happened to be either assimilated or had been assimilated in its past. And after 50, the system for tracking this doesn't work anymore, so it could be. I have no idea how many times this has happened to her.
But the symbiont inside would. Let's try and reach it in some way.
This is why I requested all of you here. If you would excuse me, I have a rather disturbing report to write up.
Okay.
And he gives you a nod and walks over to the desk where he starts working.
Tolek, she seems okay with your presence for the time being. So
I will, of course, deactivate the force field. The gas is extracted out.
Curious, you gave her name earlier, but it went by a bit quick and I didn't write it down.
I completely forgot myself. It's very long. I've got to load up my documents so I get the right name. I closed it because the Google was messing up, so I didn't want to. When we had technical difficulties earlier, I closed it. So bear me 1 second. There we go. It is. Yeah, the ship was the USS Forerunner, and her name is. Where's it gone? I had it written down as well. Yinas Nil.
Yinas Nil, was it?
NIL.
NIL, and Nil would be the symbiont name.
Yeah, generally the way, as far as I'm aware, that's generally the way it goes. Is host name, symbiont name.
If they are abiding by that same rule, which
I believe, I believe that is a stand. I think it's the Bajorans who do family name first.
No, I know. But I mean, they have already broken every rule, so maybe their names aren't the same anymore.
Yeah,
if they're abusing the symbionts, they may not give them names. If you see what I mean.
Gotcha.
I'm still not convinced that this jumping the host was entirely out of free will of the symbiont or the hosts.
That, Devon, maybe you should ask our guest. I shall remain in the background.
So she's sitting, she's like crouched against the wall, right?
Yeah.
So Davrin is going to go and Davrin is going to approach her slowly and make sure he's in her field of vision.
Okay. As you do, she sort of locks eyes with you and stands up.
Please, feel free to remain seated, and perhaps he points to one of the beds.
I will not sit, you filthy patach. And she's just like, I'm sorry.
Well, do you know what? I want to sit. You may join me if you wish. And he sits.
I think I will. That was. And she said, I'll just sit over here if that's okay. And she sits on one of the other beds, and you see, looking at her, and they've got looks. Yeah, this host, the current host, she's reasonably young. Still a few bruises, but doesn't look like anything serious. It's just, yeah, she's again probably in human terms, probably sort of like 22, 23, if you had to put a number on it, around that sort of age.
Let us introduce ourselves again. I am Lieutenant Commander Davrin Jan of the USS Damocles.
As you say that, her face just drops. Like, Damocles, you're. It worked. And she starts rocking backwards and forwards, and like you can see there's tears. It's like, oh. And she spots the two bodies. Did they?
I'm sorry, they didn't make it.
She puts her hands in them. No, I survived. We all survived. I'm sorry. Damocles, you say? Yes.
That is correct.
Then and she points to she's real. Am I hallucinating? Is she actually there? She's pointing at Tira.
That is the real Tira Shitazra, yeah.
There's a small like you are.
I guess you're horribly dead in the future, Andreas. Oh
No,
well.
no, it's more. No, this
so
is.
too.
It's like I've always wanted to meet you. Your exploits were. Whoa, you are a hero on Andoria. It's. Oh wait. If it worked.
I slowly back away to Tolek.
What is the star date?
I'll tell her the star date. I guess. Some random sequence of numbers we made up for the episode.
Like 539752241 or whatever that means, which actually might be the start date. But she's like, I'm early. Where? This is good. And she gets up and she puts her hands behind her back, starts sort of like, this is most fortunate.
You appear to be a fair few centuries ahead of us on the information front.
That is not entirely accurate, but a logical assumption to make.
Okay. Well, then we'll get back to that. But you are giving me tantalizing tidbits about what you're doing here, and quite frankly, we would like to know what you're doing here. So,
of course,
if I could get you to focus your thoughts in that area.
I must warn you, though, under the Temple Prime Directive doesn't exist in my time anymore. If you're and there's a slight chuckle from her. There is obviously still an issue that I cannot change time too much, which is ironic because that is why I'm here.
Right.
One moment. And she again.
And then the cat
I don't like it
comes
when
out.
he takes over. And that's like, Vulcans. Sorry. Okay, here's what happened. And she just leans forward. As you can tell, I'm not a normal true.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And yes, Davin did say that.
Yeah, that's yeah. And the things they did to Neil is, well, actually, on the one hand, it was actually quite impressive that your doppelganger, and he points towards Tolek with the, and you're hearing the almost Klingon venom in her voice as she says this.
I'm glad you understand the situation here, because
I do.
I will not tolerate violence against any of us for anything our doppelgangers have done.
That is completely understandable, but again, you would understand that the circumstances make sometimes certain aspects of my previous hosts come to the fore a lot more frequently, especially.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your control in keeping dominance.
Honestly, it is the previous host, the Vulcan I believe you just talked to. If it wasn't for her, him. Yes, him. If it wasn't for him, I would not be able to he's helping me. It is very odd.
Well, and you both have my gratitude. Carry on with your story.
I'm going to put this. It leans forward, and actually leans forward. You realise her accent's changing. This is now definitely changing into an accent that can best be described as Terran. So, okay, here's what shit went down. You probably guessed from how I arrived here. So just like one of the Cation nurses is helping. That's, yeah, shit's gone down. The Bendrazi Empire has pretty much taken over the Gamma Quadrant, and they have infiltrated the Alpha Quadrant as well. I'm gonna let somebody else explain this. One moment. And again, like, stands up. The more you started to recognise, you've been around Vulcans, and you recognise the way that a Vulcan would stand and sit. Very prim, very proper, almost rigid, and with a sort of noble bearing to it. Again,
Almost subconsciously, Davrin's posture changes to be very nearly identical to that. As one of his the sort of the things one of his former hosts learned, sort of immediately in his subconscious, go, oh yeah, we got to do the prim and proper thing for Vulcans here.
Thank you. It is very tiring for her to be in control, but I can understand her reluctance to let others speak through her. She was correct. The Bendrazi Empire have pretty much taken over the Gamma Quadrants. They have infiltrated and done. I am getting ahead of myself. Based on the current time frame I believe we are in approximately 6 months' time, the Iconian star map that, which points to Tolek, discovered, is stolen. We believe it is by Bendrazi infiltrators, Starfleet. They, to put it mildly, found another Iconian gateway. This one leading to the Andromeda cluster. For a time, there was nothing heard from them. However, when they returned, those filthy Pataks, and it's weird hearing a Vulcan voice swearing Klingon. My apologies. He is quite forceful, this Klingon. But he has his uses. He has kept us alive through sheer determination, if nothing else. When they had returned from Andromeda, they had technology that was frankly beyond anything we had seen. That was when the problems began. First of all, the Damocles disappeared. It entered the Bajoran wormhole one day, and it never arrived on the other side. Later, there was the Dominion Civil War, as best it can be described. That missing piece that kept the fighting from progressing further, the Damocles, was not there. This started a chain reaction through the Gamma Quadrants. System after system would fall. Deep Space 10 was effectively destroyed, although that's probably not the correct choice of words. I suppose the best, and again, you hear that human voice taken over, and Echoes leans forward. Yeah, those bastards planted a subspace implosion bomb on Deep Space 10. yeah, we know where Deep Space 10 is. We just can't get to it. It's in subspace. Bastards. Yeah, and it got worse from there. They basically had the weapon that can best be described as assimilation. They destroyed Kronos with it, and I believe Vulcan was the next target. Something about... No, the information's gone. But yeah, basically... Yeah, we're screwed. Several ships were sent to what was believed to be key points in history to try and undo this, because, yeah, as I said, the Temple Prime Directive at that point, it's gone. So we took the fight to them. Many of us died in battle. And turns around and looks at Tira. You fought brilliantly, saved millions. It was glorious to watch you fight.
That's our Tira.
She is, well, I had the pleasure of fighting alongside her. It was amazing.
I'm not sure I want to hear this.
Oh, you didn't die, you survived.
Still not sure that I want to hear this.
You have a new Klingon husband, but you survived.
It's like, as you say, it's like there was a chuckle from the clan. It's like, I would have been proud to have her as my mate.
Is that Kern? Is that you?
I am not familiar with Kern, but you have definitely, let's just say, you have friends amongst the Klingons. But I get you, the young trill voice you heard earlier. But yes, essentially, things went wrong. We managed to get the time ship, which I believe is currently phasing in and out of your cargo hold right now.
Yeah, so that's
It is
something
in a semi-stable state.
Yes, that is part of its security system. We stole that ship. I'm not entirely sure I should say who we stole it from, but let's just say there is a reason why it doesn't have.
You appear to be breaking all the rules. Why be a stickler for that one?
I'm just not entirely sure what the correct name is. That is the problem. But let us say they were an organisation within Starfleet that very few people knew about.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I knew there was a reason it didn't have a serial number, guys.
Yeah.
you were spot on. But ironically, it is an advanced vessel, but it is still vulnerable, and it has been damaged, but multiple times. In fact, when we entered the red wormhole in our time frame, and we arrived, for us, what was a few days ago, we realised we were at the wrong location.
So that's how you did it. You didn't time jump, you went through the red
we
wormhole.
did actually time jump, but we time jumped to a location where we suspected the Damocles would be. Which is why I would wager that you have inconsistencies about our data logs, which I would assume, again the Vulcan comes back, which I would assume you have downloaded our data logs of some description.
You'd assume correctly.
there isn't much we can do now. I would ask that my friends they sacrificed themselves so that at least one of us would escape. But I would ask that she looks at Tira. When you find him, make him suffer for what he did to us, forcing us into multiple hosts, using our memories as a drug for his foul habit. And as she's doing it, she's leaning forward and getting more. You can see it in her face, David, sitting right opposite. The mannerisms are getting more and more Klingon as she's getting agitated.
I whisper to Torlek, "Are you okay?"
Promise me you will make that scum pay for what he did to me, to my friends, to my family. And you make she's like running over this place like I'm going to have to sedate you. Knocks the thing on his head. Do not touch me.
In perfect Klingon, I shout at them, "Sit down and don't forget your honor."
Ooh, this is going to be a good one. I'm going to say for this, I'm going to say command and presence. Because you're basically forcing your personality onto him, sort of thing.
I can certainly try.
You definitely can. This can't really be assisted. But this is going to be a 1 for this one.
More of a Davrin roll, but fingers crossed.
Got your fingers.
Oh!
He sits down. As you can see.
Accidentally sits on a laser scalpel.
What are you? No, it's like sort of sits down, but then immediately lunges towards Tolek.
Davrin's being quite close is gonna get right in his way. Away.
Crashes inside. Like you can see.
Calm down.
She is, for a reasonably small trill, she's got a lot of power behind her. It's like.
Davrin's right in her face and calm down. We are here to help. You came to us for help.
I move in front of Torlek.
Tolek is pretty unfazed by this.
Like, look at him. Doesn't even express any regret for what he did. And
you are not thinking of the right person. That is the mirror version. That is the evil, if you want to put a word on it, Tolek. You came to this Tolek, this Tira, and this Davrin, this Damocles, for help.
Her face immediately drops, and you just like, help me, and she just drops into your arms.
I grab her before she falls, pick her up and put her on the bed.
Yeah, immediately the EMH is running over to her. It's like, yes, I think I'm going to have to sedate her.
I think so. We'll have to continue this later.
Yes, I believe I have received a rather clandestine data packet from the Symbiosis Commission. It's the information they have sent me is, I believe this can help, but I would recommend that we get us to a more, what would be the appropriate phrase, suitable location as soon as possible.
Tolek, EMH, is there any way to remove some of these memory anagrams? Is that feasible in any way? Reduce the number of voices plaguing her.
I could attempt a telepathic connection.
I don't think
Question, are you saying this out loud?
Yes.
The EMH immediately turns around and goes, no, this is not happening. The amount of information that is in the poor symbiont's mind, I believe, would even overwhelm you, Tolek. I cannot allow this to happen. I would have to, and it is now addressing Davrin, if you order this to happen, I will pull rank on this one, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I would not dream of ordering it to happen without a recommendation.
Thank you. It is not something I like doing, but when it comes to medical matters,
I was only positing a potential.
of course, my apologies. I am slightly rattled myself by this. It is.
I
Interest.
would prefer her not to suffer so.
I can to say sedate her, but I believe actually the best people to handle her now are, and he points to Davin, your compatriots on Trill.
Okay. Yeah. Sedate her. Keep her sedated and well. And once Captain Prura escapes from his current predicament,
There is a smirk from this. Like, yes, I do believe the captain doesn't actually have good bladder control, does he?
that seems like something that may have been in a private file, but we maybe should not have been privy to.
Did I say that out loud? And he just sort of hums to himself as he goes back to his. He checks on Neil. So.
I didn't think we had the EMH on long enough for him to develop this kind of personality quirk. But there you go.
Technically, the Damocles doesn't have a chief medical officer and hasn't done.
No, that's true. Actually, even though we've in theory can have an emergency hologram of any type, we only ever bother with the EMH.
It's a comforting thing for a lot of people. It's the it's. So we're going to start winding things up now because I just realised what the time is. So,
right.
So
You
eventually,
could quickly slip through the trail and back if you want, everyone.
that is something that's very easily done. Get to the wormhole, slipstream to.
If we can't have a conversation with the captain, then in a very near future, then I think I'm going to make the call and say yes.
That is wise. I believe.
I would like to be present and have a conversation and make sure everything is understood between us about what needs to happen here.
Okay, we're going to skip forward a little bit. It's eventually, so you're on the bridge, you've passed through the wormhole, activated the slipstream, and you're at Trill within a matter of hours. This is. Starfleet gives you a complete go-ahead, so activate slipstream. As you arrive in orbit around Trill, eventually, two things happen. The first is you are immediately again hailed by the Symbiosis Commission. The second, there's a from the captain's ready room door, and you just hear, "Get out of my way!" as he runs towards the turbo lift at high speed.
I'm going to hail the entire ship and say, clear the halls.
Is there seriously no restroom adjacent to the bridge? Because there would be a design flaw.
You'd think there would be one adjacent to the ready room.
But there isn't one.
Yes.
Let's just say there isn't one in the captain's ready room.
Yes, which is fine, but the bridge crew shouldn't have to use the terminus every time somebody has to
It's
go.
literally the bridge. I think it's like one level down sort of thing. So it's like
Also,
literally-
we don't know if he wants to get to the restroom.
That is true.
He might want to go to engineering.
Oh no, he's running to the restroom.
He didn't take a
running
phase.
to the restroom.
I think Andreas was being optimistic there.
It's again. It's you see. It's in orbit. There is a ship waiting for you, and it's the communication. So from the waiting ship. It's Davin.
This is Lieutenant Commander Davrin of USS Damocles.
Again, a pleasure to see you again, Davin. I take the passengers are ready for transport.
Yes, though I was wondering if I could come along and make sure arrangements are completely to the satisfaction of both the Trill government and the Federation.
I believe that can be. No, when I have authority for something, screw it. You come over whenever you need to. It's we can discuss and she does the air quotes as well. We can discuss the reasons behind your visit afterwards. I believe certain words may be said towards certain individuals. I will say no more, but please.
Right. Tira, you have the bridge.
Again,
and I'm gonna go transport myself across with the other Trill.
Easy enough, then you dab in, beams over, site transport. There's a brief pause on the bridge. You then hear, prior to bridge,
Yes, Captain?
Tira? Where's Davin?
He is escorting our guests to their new home.
Guests?
He will read everything in our report.
Right, okay. I do have one question though. Where's that Bolian?
I'm going to arrange amnesty for the Bolian on Trill.
And that's pretty much. Well, that's where we end it, but. Let's imagine that it's
But
we're sort of
Tira
carrying-
just goes,
Yeah. As to say that the episode is quote unquote coming to an end. Just want to quickly pan back to the cargo hold. The time ship slowly ripples and phases in. And that's basically where we're going to end it for the night. Because I've just seen what the time is. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit. I don't want to go too wrong with this, but essentially, to sort of like cut a long story short, in essence, the remains have been dealt with. The Neil has been taken into the true equivalent of psychiatric care, and she is being looked after, but she's basically being kept isolated for security reasons. Believe the official reason is that she has some kind of possibly a disease that may be infectious to other hosts and symbiotes, which is why she's being isolated.
Davrin is quite insistent that she be allowed to communicate to him.
That can be arranged. It's
Should she feel she has something important she needs to say to me or to the crew of the Damocles, she can contact Davrin directly.
I cannot promise we'll be able to grant her direct access, but at the very least, if we cannot, I can relay her messages. But I believe there
You
are
understand.
ways we can get around this.
We do understand each other that there is a significant reason for very few people to know what this woman has
Of course,
to say.
it's the data that your doctor sent us is. It's going to take a long time to process. She's going to take a long time to heal, but I believe we can heal her. But thank you for bringing her home. Does anybody want to have like an epilogue themselves, or?
I'll let the other two speak,
Okay.
and I'll try. I think I may, but I haven't really thought it through. So,
Yes. So,
Chodek will, when he's off duty, send a brief message to his parents, informing them of the change in his duties,
yes.
and inquiring about the health of his. Oh, okay. We can make it a call, right?
Yeah. No, it's like, yeah,
Okay.
on the screen, it's like, and your mother appears, Tolek's mother appears, holding your young sister. It's like,
Mother.
Tolek. It's a.
I hope your and my sister's and my father's healths are acceptable.
They are. We have decided on a name for your sister. It is Toval.
Thank you for informing me of this, Mother.
And congratulations, I believe, are in order for your promotion. Or your. Well, this is Chris saying, it wasn't really a promotion, really, was it? It was more
It is.
Appointment, that's a better word, yeah, appointment. Yes. Congratulations on your appointment. It is
Your congratulations.
satisfactory.
It is.
She
I
goes,
hope it is rather pleasing that I am now the third of our family to have received the Cochrane Medal.
Indeed. I will inform your father when he returns.
I appreciate this.
Gives you a nod. And Taval's like, she's sort of, the usual way that babies wave their arms around, sort of things, if they're trying to communicate. But again, still being Vulcan, it's like it's not mega excited, like sort of thing. It's like, it's like she hasn't got quite control of her body, like she's trying to.
Yeah.
So nods. Just ends of communication.
Yeah.
Tira.
Tira also makes a call after her duty. Coded call
Okay.
to Starfleet Academy
Alright.
to Commander Kingston, who holds the tactical training.
Mm-hmm. You see, unfortunately, one thing you've forgotten about is that there's a time difference between Trill and Starfleet Academy, and currently it's about 3 a.m. over there. It's like,
It's me, Tira, Commander. I'm sorry to have woken you.
what's happened?
I might be willing to rethink the offer you once did to me. And we have also something at our shuttle bay that might interest your friends.
I see.
I think we could be of help to each other.
Very well. He's fully awake by this point. It's like, let's just say there are matters I need to discuss with others first, but I will be in contact.
Of course.
Thank you, Tira. So he gives you a sort of, thank you, Tira. Give you communication.
Oh man. Oh, the treachery.
Who said everything but from treachery?
I love it when this happens in games.
Yeah, I love that we had both day, my dear.
God, I don't know which one of you I want to pick. Or I kind of want to involve someone else in my scene, but I'm not sure which one's the best one.
If you can't choose, flip a coin. I would say statistically, probably Tolek is probably most likely available out of the two.
All right, fair enough.
If I had to pick one, I would say, boom.
This is going to be interesting actually, because it's going to be a question of logic, and it's actually about okay, cool.
Yeah,
Tolek's a good choice.
Logic, no.
Well, for Tira, it would be a question of emotion.
Oh, okay.
So, Davrin is going to appear at Tolek's quarters and
Enter.
And he through the door, and he seems very agitated.
Commander, is there anything I can do for you?
You don't have any anything to drink, do you, Tolek?
Tolek just points to the replicator that.
Oh, right, okay, well, fine, I could replicate something, I guess. Yeah, sure.
By the way, it's
a good host would keep it some real.
thing is, though, for Tolek, though, this has actually been hospitable.
Yeah,
So,
I know. As a player, I'm being
why
facetious.
did they keep this replicator there?
I don't think Davin would actually say that. I'm just being silly.
I don't know to mention he says it under his breath.
I mean, basically, like 90% of the words that come out of my mouth in this game assume that's just me being an idiot and don't necessarily assume Davin said it.
Okay.
But he replicates himself. I have no idea what would be a spirit from Trill, but a spirit from Trill.
Yeah, I imagine that with your newly acquired promotion, you're able to temporarily override the non-alcohol restriction in replicators.
Okay. And his hand seems to be shaking a little bit, as he sort of paces back and forth, and he says to Tolek, "Do you think there is ever a logical reason to kill a person?"
I believe there can be. There is the well-known Vulcan adage that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
It's a good saying.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Are you contemplating homicide?
I feel like I could. And perhaps you're not the best person to speak to, but then again, perhaps you're exactly the person to speak to. Your doppelganger.
I see your point, Lieutenant Commander. Do not be concerned about addressing this to me. I do think that this mirror universe Todek poses a great threat to the many and the few, considering what I have heard about his case. And there is a definite note of anger in Todek's voice.
It's actually a common myth that Vulcans don't feel emotions.
Oh no, they do.
They
It's
do.
just very
Yeah.
recent.
We've managed to actually bring some out to the edge.
Yeah,
The sheer fact
there
that
is
you're
definite-
hearing anger.
The word. Yeah.
If I understood what he's done to my people correctly, I think I could kill Tolek. I really could.
I would not prevent it. Unless
I'm not sure if that was the
It's-
answer I was looking for or not, but thank you.
unless his staying alive would benefit the many.
Okay. I'm glad we understand each other. And if
Lieutenant-
the others are as bad as that, then who knows?
We shall have to do what is necessary, even though I would prefer a non-lethal solution.
Just before we end, though,
I'm not sure I do prefer that. And
Davrin,
that's got me scared, Tolek. It's got me scared.
you hear, on the edge of your hearing, what can best be described as a Bolian running down the corridor, screaming, being chased by one very pissed off captain, opening the door, and you actually see him run past. And the captain appears to have what can best be described as a Klingon pain stick. It's probably the best way to describe this. And he is running after this Bolian. And that is properly where we're going to end it. On at least a humorous note. Anyway, so it's getting a bit later than I first anticipated, so I'm going to sort of brush things off for the night. Going to end things, and thank you very much for joining me. I will be back personally on Monday, streaming some more Final Fantasy XIV, which is actually surprisingly actually fun with my gnome-like character, who may or may not resemble Pike from Critical Role, but yep. So we'll be playing that for the week, and there won't be a Star Trek Adventures next week because that's my D&D game, but we will be back with the next episode of s2e9 Damocles in, fingers crossed, 2 weeks, provided there's no technical difficulties again. So I'm going to bid you all a good night, and hopefully see you soon. Bye bye. Live long.
Goodbye.
Prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Yes. I'm going to end that.